everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Bella. It's so nice to see you guys today. So today's video is going to be an in-depth eyebrow tutorial. I get tons and tons and tons of questions about how I do my eyebrows, and they made quite the evolution since like 2016. I'll put in some pictures here of like how thick they used to be. But my eyebrows definitely have come a long way, and lots of people want to know how I do them. So I figured I'd finally make this video for you guys. So yeah, if you want to see how I achieve my eyebrows, then please keep on watching. So I'm starting off with nothing but a primer on my skin, and I kind of spot conceal a little bit, but that has nothing to do with the brows yet. On an everyday basis, I use eyebrow powder. So I like to use this BH Cosmetics Studio Pro eyeshadow palette. It's not an eyeshadow palette, it's an eyebrow palette, I'm sorry. And I like to use these two shades right here. Honestly, I mix them a little bit, and sometimes I'll go in with just a darker shade, sometimes I'll go in with just a lighter shade, but it doesn't really matter. It's just whatever I'm feeling that day. This shade right here is really comparable to Medium Brown by Anastasia, so if you guys don't have this palette, you guys could just use any eyebrow powder or any eyebrow product really to fill them in, but it's all about the technique and how you apply the product is what achieves a certain look. So I like to use this little Bella Cosmetics RG 240 brush, and it's a little angled eyebrow brush. I like this brush because it's really long, so it covers a lot of my eyebrow at once, and I don't really have to spend as much time filling them in. So yeah, let's get started. I'm gonna start by clipping my hair back because I don't like when my hair is in my face. All right, hair's out of the way. I think I want to move you guys a little bit closer because you can't really see what I'm doing from here. So let me do that. All right, so we're a little bit closer. I hope this isn't awkward. So right now there's no product on my brows, and I actually just plucked around them to clean them up. I haven't trimmed them yet because I trimmed them a few days ago, so they don't really need to be trimmed right now. But I like to keep up with the maintenance of plucking them every other day. That way I don't really have to do much all at once. All right, so we're gonna go in with this shade right here first, and I'm gonna dip into a teeny bit into this one right here. I like to have a really clean line, so I really lightly just make strokes going horizontally, and I'm going back and forth, running the brush back over where I already applied the product. So I'm not making one harsh line, but I'm just kind of filling the area lightly. And right now I'm not touching the center of my eyebrow at all. I'm just going around the edges and lining it, and I'm doing this with that combination of colors all throughout until like right here, because right here my eyebrow hairs get really thick and the product stops showing up. So I go in with just the darker shade, and I'll start putting that in the tail of my brow, and it's really just like coloring in the shape that I already have. I don't really make an extra shape or change the shape that I have. Going in with that darker shade, and really steadily I like to make this arch right here because, like I said, I like to have clean brows, and it's easier if you make a clean line. That way you don't have to clean up as much. So when I make the outside tail of my brow, I match it to the inside angle. So if this is at this angle, this is going to be at this angle too, and I try to match it as best as I can. And right now I'm not worrying about how messy it is, I'm just trying to get a rough shape going. And then I'll go in with the darker shade mixed with a little bit of the lighter shade, and just go in and fill in that shape right there that I made. And I like to put the product initially where my eyebrow needs it the most, and then I'll just blend around. But I don't like to put on a lot of product everywhere because then my eyebrows look really blocky. And for those wondering what the difference between using powder and like a pomade or a pencil is, powder is gonna look a lot softer than a pomade will, and a pencil is gonna look also soft, but it's just a different application process than with the powder. And I feel like with the pencil you have a little bit more control to make smaller lines than you do with an eyebrow brush like this. And as I'm outlining, I like to brush up as well to diffuse that product. Also, I know a lot of people ask if I do my eyebrows before or after foundation, and honestly, it's just whatever I feel like that day. Most times I do it before, but if I do it after, I'm usually trying to get a more natural brow. because I tend not to overline them when I have on foundation already, versus when I don't have on foundation, I overline them a little bit. And for me, the way that I know where to place the shadow or the line, I put it where the root of the hair starts to come out on my skin. So I really don't fill in the fronts much. Not on my right side anyway, but on my left side I have to a little bit to make it even. But I naturally have pretty full brows, so I don't really have to fill in much. Just like to match the color and stuff. All right, so now that we have that shape going on, you can see it's pretty messy. Now usually I would use the Makeup Forever HD Stick Foundation for this, but I'm gonna use the Born This Way concealer because I've been using this lately and it's making it a little bit easier. This brush is an iconic brush. Everyone wants to know where I got this brush. It's an Alamar Cosmetics brush and I got it in my BoxyCharm box 1 month. And it doesn't have like a number or a name, but it's Alamar, A-L-A-M-A-R Cosmetics. And yeah, they have a whole line of these brushes, so go check them out. So I like to open the concealer like this, and I'll just get some from the neck of the bottle and wipe off the majority of the product. I like to go in with a very small amount. And honestly, I used to conceal my eyebrows going front to back, but I think it's a little bit easier to start from the tail because you can like have a guideline for the front shape. And then I'm gonna bring up the line and curve it. And then I'll take the brush and bring this product down to make it easier to blend out. And then I'll turn my brush this way, and to smooth out that line, I'll just go back over it, and it just makes it really clean. And I do the same thing to the front, so I'll show you guys. And I usually start about right here in the middle of the front of my brow. And then I try to make this as straight as possible and connect it. And then I'll take the brush again, go sideways. I raise my brow a little bit to pull the skin. And then just drag out the line to make it straight. And then once I'm satisfied with that shape right there, I'll just go in and bring down this concealer, and I make sure that it's not really caked up. So I'm taking this brush and going back and just blending out this concealer. I'm gonna blend this out a little bit more with the Sigma E55 brush. And that's it for the bottom of the brow. I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side, and then I'll show you guys how I do the top. So you can't really see it that obviously on camera, but I did make a mistake. So what I'll do if I make a mistake is I'll just did not expect that. I'll just pinch the tip of this brush, and then I'll go in the opposite direction. So if my eyebrow is coming this way, I'm not gonna follow the line this way, I'm gonna go this way. It helps to redefine the line and make it a little bit sharper. And then this way you're pushing the product instead of dragging it, if that makes sense. Alright, so now that I'm done with that, I'm going to take the same concealer and I'm going to do the same exact thing on the top. But on the top, I like to do the same parts of my eyebrow at the same time. That way I can make them even because I struggle to make the tops even. So that's a tip. If you guys struggle to make your eyebrows even, try doing the same parts on each eyebrow at the same time. So like fill in the front of this eyebrow and then fill in the front of this eyebrow and then fill in the middle of this eyebrow and then the middle on this side, and you get what I'm saying. But that honestly helps to make everything so much more even. So I'm just starting this off in the front, and then I'm gonna also bring it over on this side. And honestly, when I get to this part, I don't even use the brush like this. I like to turn it, but I'll make sure that they're lined up. That way my eyebrows are sitting in the same spot. And then when it gets to the end, I'll round it off the edge and then create that little angle. And the easiest way for me to check if the angle looks right is for me to look down like this into a mirror, and then look up, and then it's easy to correct and see any like weird shapes in your brow. So as you can see, this eyebrow shape is very different from this one right now, like if you look at them. So I'm gonna take some product on this brush because there's not that much left, and I'm gonna go in with the darker shadow and then a little bit of the lighter one, and then pinch the brush so it's a little bit skinnier, it's a little bit more precise. And then I'll come up and start where I'm inside the brow, and then I'll just fix this corner right here and make it match my other eyebrow. Hold up, let me zoom y'all out. All right, so here's what the brows look like far away. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish my face off camera really quick, and I will be right back to show you guys the finished product. And yeah. All right, so I'm done with my whole entire face, obviously. The last step now is to put on brow gel, and this step is pretty easy. I don't really have to show you how to do it, but I like to use the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. The way I do this really helps make sure my eyebrow hairs stay up. Oh wow, me dropping it. That's fantastic. Don't drop it in your hair. But when I put my eyebrow gel on, I like to twist the spoolie up. That way I can coat every hair and my brows can get fully saturated in this product. And then I'll just brush them in whichever direction I want them to go. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Usually I put them up in the front, and then like I'll make them go diagonal and then obviously facing down, so they just follow like the flow of my eyebrow. But that is the final look. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you learned something from my video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you so much, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.